This video, we get started on our Deathwatch Vanguard Veterans. Alright, we're going to start with arms. So I want to use a power sword. So this is 2F and I want to use a storm shield. So it's 2G. So I'm looking here and it looks like this is the arm 13 that I need for the shield. And yeah, and if I go and take a look at one of the, here we go. So it looks like I need arm 21. These older Games Workshop guides aren't the best, and I think I'm gonna have to fiddle some more later on. But if I get 13 and 21 and start cleaning them up, I should be good. All right, let's pull in some other sprues here. So Deathwatch Upgrade Sprue and Deathwatch Veteran Sprue. I have all these leftover shoulder pads that I want to use on these guys that I'm kit bashing into my Deathwatch kill team. I think I'm going to use this Raptors chapter pad. Seems appropriate for a guy that's going to be flying around on a jetpack. So I clip these out, clean them off. We're going to use some plastic glue to apply them to my arms. So the way I understand the lore, the chapter pad is moved over to the right arm on Deathwatch, and then on the left arm they have the silver arm of the Deathwatch. This guy is going to have a power sword and a storm shield. So these are fairly straightforward bits to apply. Just use the plastic glue and put it at the connecting joint. It's fairly flat and it didn't interfere with the sprue at all, so I didn't have to sand it down. And we're just gonna stick them together. We're going to kit bash some weapons from both the upgrade sprue and the original veteran sprue, but I wanted to take it easy on the first one of these guys I put together, so we're just going to be using the power sword that came with the Vanguard veterans. Jump pack. For simplicity, we're just going to do this 76-81 pair. I prefer painting my Space Marines and sub-assemblies, so we're just getting some cork with some paper clips in them and some sticky tack, and we're going to use the sticky tack and the paper clips to stick all of these bits on their own little holder so that it's easier for me to get in and do the edge highlighting and all that kind of stuff. I'm pretty generous with the sticky tack. I do kind of squish it and mold it a little bit so that it doesn't get in the way of the primer, but when it comes to the joint where I'm going to attach it to the body, I don't need that to be primed because nobody's going to see it. I'm going to attach the head to the pin of the sub-assembly with super glue instead of sticky tack, and so I'm actually going to take my pin vise here and drill a tiny little hole. The hardest part is about getting it started. Just be really patient, and once you get a little bit of an indent, then you can kind of cruise. And you want a decent sized hole, because you want to be able to get that paperclip in there enough that with a little bit of super glue, it'll hold it nice and firm. And we don't want to use a ton of super glue because we want to be able to wiggle this head free and break it off the pin entirely before we apply it to our Space Marine. And that way we don't have to drill into the Space Marine, and we will have the ability to pose the head how we see fit with regards to the position of the body and the position of the arms and all of that good stuff. So I'm just putting a little super glue at the end, and I'm gonna try to be extra patient and hold it until it has a good balance there. And there we go. All right, I put these guys on some assemblies. It's time to prime them. Okay, primed in black. So now we're gonna go over and we're gonna do a thin coat of this Army Painter matte black, and we're gonna paint this over all the areas that are going to be black. You might be wondering, as I was the first time I saw someone do this, why am I painting black paint over black primer? Well, turns out all blacks don't look the same. They actually have different finishes. And I sprayed these with Chaos Black, But when I inevitably make mistakes later on with my edge highlighting, if I want to clean this up, there is no base paint of Chaos Black, and if I use a different black, when it dries, it'll actually look a little splotchy. This way, now that when I go back and clean up, I'm going to clean up with the same Army Painter Black, and it won't get the splotchy look. I'm using Army Painter Black because that's the color I used on my other Deathwatch, and I want them to match. Alright, let's do some real painting here. We're going to use Shining Silver because my plate mail metal is running low, and I wanted to try something new. And I'm going to start hitting all the silver details on this particular Deathwatch Veteran. Just kind of going around and picking out the things that I think would obviously be silver, like these pipes or cables or whatever they are. Some of these areas could either be silver or gold, and I'm just kind of picking one and going with it. Not a lot on the head is actually going to be silver. I'm going to get the mouthpiece here and these little things on the sides, but I think I'm going to end up painting over these when I do the gold. I'm going to come back and do them again later. I'm going to grab one of these torso leg combos that I built in another video. It's linked in all the appropriate places. Just make sure I don't grab the Sergeant one, and I'm going to hit silver on anything that looks like a strap or a belt or the in-between joints in between the limbs. And on all of these, I'm going to go back and do a second coat of this silver paint. There we go. Well, this is how I've been hobbying lately. If you'd let me know how you've been hobbying lately down in the comments, I would love to check it out.